Hello and welcome back to the FPV Roundtable. Today I'm joined by Tristan, Stacey, and a very special guest, Dominic, who some of you may know comes from the world of tiny whoops. And that's going to be the topic for today's conversation. Whoops, tiny whoops, what they are, who they're suited to, how do you build one, what's special about them, and towards the end of the conversation, is this the future of our FPV hobby due to certain regulations, etc., etc. So, Dominic, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for the introduction.
If you wouldn't mind just giving a very quick introduction to yourself, a little bit of history, just for those who maybe don't know who you are.
All right. My name's Dominic, Dom, whatever. My pilot handle is Tokyo Dom, and the reason for that is because I am in Tokyo, in Japan, and I've been flying tiny whoops, and FPV equals tiny whoop to me. So I've been flying for about 6 years now, and over the time I've gone through every size of whoop that I could think of, and I haven't strayed from that size. For the last few years, I've been helping, well, not really helping so much lately, but I kind of say a bit FPV has been asking me questions about tiny whoops, and the Air series was given. We did the testing for that, myself and a few others, after they ran a competition, the sub 18 gram competition, and I won that because I managed to do like a 12 gram whoop at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, and the funny thing was, I didn't actually make the lightest whoop, because there was a guy in the US, Tristan Teff, that made a 11 gram whoop, but he didn't follow the regulations properly. So I'd followed all the rules and made it to 12 grams, and so anyway, so yeah, after that all of the finalists were helping out Better FPV, and yeah, the Air series has been a pretty good hit, I think, since then. So yeah, if you look on the Air series product page, it should say my name on there, Tokyo Dom, and yeah, that's me.
Thank you very much. Well, your introduction actually nicely touched upon something about our first topic of what actually is a whoop. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to be guilty by calling things whoops that are probably not whoops, and in general terms, I probably mean tiny whoop, but it's just become this generic term. So what would you class as a whoop / tiny whoop?
Okay, so I think tiny whoop is the one that's the strictest of the nomenclature. So tiny whoop is a 65 millimeter tiny whoop. Yeah, like one of these 65 millimeters motor post to motor post is 65 millimeters. They run 31 millimeter props, and tiny motors, 0802s or 0702s, mostly 0702s now. Anything bigger than this is going to be just a whoop, officially. Right?
Interesting, yeah.
So 70 millimeter is a whoop. It's not a tiny whoop. 75 millimeter, the Media 75 Pro, which I object to because it's not 75 mil, it's 80 mil.
No.
I would call that a large whoop, and then going to the 2-inch whoops, they used to call them a power whoop. So that's the power whoops are the 2-inch 2S whoops that have a little bit more power. Well, they have a lot more power, and they're just a lot bigger. But yeah, tiny whoops, 65 millimeters, nothing less, nothing more. The other part of it is whoops are ducted. So you've got a duct on the whoop, means it's a whoop. If you have like the Fly Whoop Firefly, there's a couple of others like that. They have open props. It's not a whoop.
Right. Okay.
If you want to go, like, every year there's a competition called International Game of Whoop. Dan runs that, and it's the best competition you could have for tiny whoop pilots. But anyway, that has some pretty strict rules on what can be used for this competition. So even if you take an open prop quad, which has similar size, and then put duct propeller guards around it, it's still not counted as a whoop, because it's an open prop with propeller guards. what you need is this full circle around the props. So that's what makes a tiny whoop a tiny whoop.
Yeah, interesting. That's a little bit different than certainly I would have thought. I mean, yeah, I sort of draw the line at 1S, for tiny whoop. But that's interesting what you say, that it's a lot more. That it should be a lot more strict than that. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, tiny is tiny, right?
We also should be careful because I believe the word tiny whoop is also copyrighted.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to
so there was
that's right.
There was that little brouhaha around there. So you might want to just call it the little whoop discussion.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, fair enough. Actually, yeah.
That's it's just crazy to me that you can copyright something like that. I mean,
what came first, the tiny whoop quad or the name, or did the name?
Oh, I think it's been debated to death.
It's
it used to be an Inductrix or something, wasn't it?
It wasn't Inductrix. So the Inductrix had the name was just called an Inductrix. The word the whole tiny whoop thing came from, there used to be an FPV group called Big Whoop, and what's the Big Whoop kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so Jesse and I'm not sure if it was actually Jesse, or they were like, yeah, no, we're not the Big Whoop, we're the tiny whoop, and so that's where tiny whoop, the word, came from.
Right. I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, I won't get into that argument, the whole whatever happened there. I wasn't a part of that.
Yes.
It feels like it was a very big, a US based drama, but yeah.
Yeah,
I just fly. I just fly and build.
Yes, absolutely. So do you find yourself? I mean, you're flying all kinds of whoops around Tokyo, are you? It's not just the 65 millimeters that you're into. No. Yeah, sure.
It's not just the 65 millimeter. I do tend to come back to 65 millimeter more than any other size, even though the 75 and up, they'll have longer flight times, they have a bit more power. It just makes more sense to be on that size. But for me,
sure.
The smallest ones are the most inconspicuous, and they're the smallest, the least obtrusive. They when you show them to people, they're, oh, that's so cool, and it's not, rather than, they don't get scared of it as easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's why I tend to go back to the 65 mils, because being in Tokyo, it's basically illegal to fly anywhere here.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No size restrictions. No. There is a lot more restrictions on 100 grams and up, but no, you can't fly any toy above crowded areas, which is the whole of Tokyo.
Yeah. Sure. So sorry. Go on.
No, I was going to say, so in Tokyo, then, if you want to fly a quad, it's going to have to be a small whoop.
Yeah, I really wouldn't fly anything. I mean, I've flown 2 inch up to about 2 inch in the parks, when at night, and that tends to be the only time I can fly, because all the parks, all the playgrounds, there's always going to be people around them, and you can't get away from people anywhere in Tokyo, I guess. So to try to avoid any confrontation or risk of confrontation, I fly at night, and I fly tiny things so that if I do get bothered,
the conversation's a little easier. I bet Yes,
exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's flying over any person, because in the UK we're not meant to fly over crowded areas, but we can fly over people with these kind of things. It's rule, any person, is it?
The rule is you can't fly in a crowded area. Well, the word is the word covers basically, if this hectare has more than 100 people in this hectare, then it's a crowded area.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if there's 100 people there or if there's one person there. The whole of Tokyo is designated as a crowded area.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Sure. I get you. Yeah. So that's pretty restrictive. So like you say, you're flying pretty much predominantly at night, for sure. I mean, do you get any interactions? Have you had anyone come up to you and ask you what you've been up to? Obviously,
had about 15 police running at us from all corners of the park and took us down to the police station.
Yes,
wow.
that was we were all we'd been flying for like 2 hours, and we'd all finished, and we're packing up our stuff, and then I was like, "There's a policeman walking over that way. Oh, there's another policeman walking over that way." And next thing you know, we were surrounded. They were running from all corners, and somebody had called the police saying there was people flying drones in the park.
Oh.
Yeah, goodness.
Oh wow.
But
And I take it then once you show them the size of the quad, everybody happy enough, or are they kind of like, well, actually,
in the end they were telling us, look,
common sense.
Well, they pulled out an old scale, like a scale used for weighing guns or something. I don't know. But they put these whoops on there, and they're like, it's not moving.
Yes.
Yes. So they're like, oh, so this is well under 200 grams, isn't it? At the time, it was 200 gram general drone restrictions. Mm-hmm. It's now 100 grams in Japan. But and lucky for us, they had the police that we were speaking to had no idea of all of the laws that we'd been breaking. I mean, so
that seems to be
yes, I see.
commonality around the world.
Yeah, so they didn't ask us about the radio frequencies and whether we had the proper regulations, licenses, and stuff. They didn't know that. We're not supposed to fly anywhere in Tokyo. Even they just knew the 200 gram rule, which
wow,
we were nowhere near. So they just basically let us off with a warning and said, if you're going to fly, make sure it's during the day and not around people. I was like, that's what we do, except for the daylight.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, flying at night in the UK, we've got to have a little green flashing light on. I mean,
really?
Is there rules and regulations around that in Tokyo? Okay. I guess not.
No. That's the other one. You're not supposed to fly at night. There's a blanket ban on flying at night.
Right. Yeah, sure.
But,
it's like, don't fly over people, but don't fly at night, a.k.a. don't fly.
Yeah, basically it is.
It does seem really strict,
You can fly inside your house, and that's one of the great things about tiny whoops is you can fly them inside your house, and that's where it becomes legal. If you're flying inside your house, the radio transmission rules don't apply because it's 5 gigahertz inside your house. I think the 2.4 gig, you still need to have a licensed equipment for that. There's a mark on most radios. There's like a circle with a T in it. That's the technical conformity mark that they use in Japan that says it's okay to use in Japan.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
I see. Yeah, that's that again is different to the UK for sure. I mean, we've obviously got radio rules, but we're not restricted as much in the 2.4 band certainly, and the 5.8 band sounds like
5.8 is terrible.
Interesting.
Here. So for 5.8. I first need to have my amateur radio license for any broadcasting. I then need to have a radio broadcast license. I need to register every single VTX I own as a mobile radio station, and then I need to open up a radio station for that. And so there's about 3 different licenses that are needed to fly a tiny whoop in full legality.
Yeah, goodness.
So the rest of us really can't complain when it comes to different regulations and things that we have to go through or possibly need to go through in the future. And you're already living that, and you have to do the things that you have to do.
Wow. Yeah, I'm never going to complain again.
Yeah, so you're kind of sitting there thinking, cry me a river.
Yeah, basically. It has been like that, especially with everyone complaining about the sub 250 or when the 250 gram remote ID stuff came in. I was like, what? You guys are new to this or what?
Yeah, goodness. Sure.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. So what in your opinion then, what actually makes a good whoop? Obviously you're going to be restricted to certain things because of where you're flying and what you've said, but when it comes to actually building them, KV motors, ducted, unducted,
of course I'm going to say
talk us through what you think is a good build.
Okay, so on that ducted versus unducted, I fly 99.9% ducted. I have a couple of open prop ones, and every time I fly them, I lose one, and I spend an hour looking for it because when a tiny 1S open prop goes down in grass, it doesn't have enough power to turtle itself out. It's stuck by the blades of the grass. If you got a whoop, the props are very rare. It's very rare for the props to all be blocked, or if I have even one of the props to be blocked. So at the very least, you can rev up your motors a little bit and find it if you're close by. But if it's an open prop quad, you got no luck unless you got a beeper.
That's a really good point. People don't talk about that. I mean, I guess the open prop design do they fly better? I mean, I've never really flown a toothpick that smaller.
I do
I guess
like
there's
that
slightly less drag.
Sure. That's what I'd be
compared
thinking.
to the duck, but for tiny whip and what it's actually the application for it is, you're not going to notice that slight extra little bit of drag.
You do notice, you got to bank a bit. You got to bank a bit more to get the corners to kick in, kind of thing. It's a bit more like skatey kind of thing. Oh, skatey, drifty, like drifting.
Yeah.
But so I can see the appeal for it, but it's just. Yeah, like I said, every time I lose one, I'm just like, that's right. That's why I fly whoops. Anyway, so back to the question. So you asked what a good whoop is. For me, a good whoop is under 16 grams. 16, you can go about 17 if you got enough power in the motors. But under 16 grams, you want to have. If it's over 16 grams, you want to have at least 26,000 kV motors. I've always been a real big proponent for getting the right kV for your flying style. So if you need power, get high kV. That's fine. But if you're just one of those people that likes cruising, some split airs, power loops and stuff, then lower kV will give you more flight time, even if you do limit the motors. It's one of these bugbears that really annoys me when people say, just get the highest kV version and lower the motor limit, put in motor limiting. That doesn't give you back flight time. It
doesn't work.
It gives you a little bit back, but nowhere near as much as getting the right motors. So
still the same amount of windings there, isn't there?
Yeah,
still
exactly.
The same amount of windings there, same amount of power.
You could hover one of these and just look at the current it's drawing in hover, and you can see it's an amp or more than a lower kV setup. So yeah, unless you really need it, and when I say need it, are you at full throttle for much of the time? If you just like that instantaneous response, then put a throttle curve on your radio, and then you can have the same response where it feels poppy.
Sure.
Is that weight, like all up weight with the battery and everything?
No. All up weight is going to be more, unless I do have one actually. Let me grab this one. So when I won that comp and Tristan went out and was like, yeah, here's my 11 gram. It sort of got me a little bit, not jealous, but I was like, damn it. So this one is 10.8 grams.
Wow. Goodness me.
You can see I don't know if you can see in the camera is a 5x5 mil camera.
I was going to say that camera's tiny. Goodness. Yes.
And it could even be lighter now, because this was at the time the bed FPV motors, the lightest motors you could get. The VCI motors are now lighter, so it could go there. No pigtail. That's just got like a half of a PH 2.0 plug there that you can just plug the leaded batteries in. So yeah, that one is 16 grams when I fly it with like a 220 milliamp battery. But anyway, yeah. So 16 grams is the dry weight.
Okay.
For my own personal, I really like the Happy Model motors. Happy Model motors are efficient. They're lower kV. So Happy Model 23 or 26,000 kV with tri blades. I like the bed FPV Air brushless flight controller. It's simple. It works well. The other thing I've recently like from this year found out is that we used to be like saying that 5 amp ESCs is all you need for a tiny whoop. But okay, my camera just died. Hang on a second.
Oh,
Oh
that's all
no!
right.
Let me try that again. Oh, let's start it again. Okay, all right. Okay, so yeah, we used to say that the 5 amp ESCs were fine, but it turns out that 12 amp ESCs, you actually get more power from the same motors on 12 amp ESCs.
Yeah,
And
interesting. Yeah,
Right, okay.
It's like the 5 amp is a bottleneck. When
yeah.
I mean, I guess we kind of knew that these ESCs, they're 5 amp, they're actually 4.5 amp rated MOSFETs. But the it's either that they're running at close to capacity or it's just a bottleneck there. That the 12 amp ESCs, so I'd say 12 amp ESCs. I fly at night, so for me, a camera needs to have good night capabilities. So for that, I do prefer the Ant Cadex Ant. Ant Light is one of the lighter ones that has really good low light capabilities. And then yeah, the better FPV. I think that honestly they kind of hit it out of the ballpark with the Air series. There's very little that you can do to improve those over over the stock.
Yeah, so I mean, I've built a few little whoops, and the R65 I just haven't touched.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't feel I need to. It's a superb little flyer. Yeah.
Which one do you have?
I've got the freestyle version from the V. I think it's the V1 actually. It's not the latest generation one.
Yeah.
But yes, I love the way it flies. It's easily my most flown drone, and I've got quite a few.
Oh, really?
As you can see.
You know, yes. Well, I fly where I live. It's bigger fly spots, and it tends to be out in the countryside. So yeah, I tend to fly sort of 3.5 inch and above. Really is my most flown. But the Air 65, I can be flying it around the house. I can chase the kids around with it. It does just as well outside as it does inside. I love it. Yeah, it's a great little bit of kit.
Everyone always says, the 65 millimeter can't fly in outside, or if there's any wind, it won't fly. And I mean, I've flown in times where I'm like got the whoop up on 80-degree angle, so I'm just like fighting the wind. But it handles it. It's fine. I fly it everywhere. It's not like you can't fly it because it's a whoop. It's
actually amazing what it can cope with wind-wise. I mean, obviously you've got to adapt to that. I mean, you do feel the wind, but yes, it's not blowing away in some pretty strong gusts. I guess the only thing I have done to it from stock is I've put some bi-blades on it. I like the way it flies with bi-blades better than tri-blades. I find it a little bit more controllable. It's a little bit more responsive, maybe, but it could just be in my head though.
No. Well. One thing is bi-blades, it's a bit less thrust, so you do have the more throttle control because of that.
That could be the main thing. Yeah,
it's more efficient. For one thing, it changes the noise. I don't really like bi-blades just based on the noise, and this comes back to me being in Tokyo. I'm trying to be as discreet as possible, the bi-blades have just that 1 octave lower of the prop noise that sort of I mean I've got bi-blade whoops as well. I think most of my 75 millimeters are bi-blades. But
just going back to the motors and the ESCs that you had talked about there.
Yep.
What about stator size? Obviously we're kind of limited to the prop diameter. So just stator size.
Stator size, you mean like the 0702 versus 0802? Versus there is only really two choices for the 65 millimeter. It's a 702 or 802. I think almost everyone has stopped using the 0802s.
Do you think is that just down to the weight saving rather than the extra torque?
Weight savings. Weight saving. It's all weight savings. I actually quite like how they fly on a 802 motors. It just has more torque, and that shows up in the what do they call them? The yaw washout.
Right. Okay.
What is it? Defendability or ability to not wash out. 702s.
I guess you got a little bit more torque in the 08 motors, right?
I don't know the
or
physics
maybe not
behind
noticeable.
what's causing it, but yeah, I can you can avoid it. Obviously, you just if you're coming straight down, just slowly ease the throttle in, or slowly pitch back, rather than just like what I can do with my 0802 whip is I can just go from here. I can just pitch right back to straight and just full throttle in one movement, and it'll just like shut it down and then just keep going, kind of thing. Whereas the 702s, you do need to do that, ease out of the dive rather than just wrench out of it.
Yeah.
And what about ESC frequency? Do you go on and tweak any of those things?
I don't really have much preference on that, except that I do 48 or 96 on most of it. If it came with 96 to start with, like the bed FPV ones, I leave it on 96. Right. I can't really tell the difference, to be honest. There, I've
an extra 5 seconds worth of flight time or something, probably.
Flight on this size, flight time is always such a struggle. So I will do everything I can to get that flight time. And yeah, the 96 gives more flight time, then I'll do 96. And that's the same with going with the lower kV motors, like 23 or 25 or 26,000 kV.
So that you would say is the best way to get more flight time with these little things is to lower the kV of your motors. That's the
lower the kV, lower the weight.
And, lower the weight as well. Yeah.
And then the ESCs at 96.
What capacity of battery do you typically use?
I fly the 320s, 280s. It sounds good on paper, and they there's only one. Bed FPV is the only one doing the 280s anyway, but it you can just notice a sag on those a lot more than you can on 320s. The 320s and 300s. I have my doubts on whether a 320 is actually 320, or if it's just 300, but they just wanted to outdo Tattoo and say, yeah, no.
Yes. I'm sure there's a little marketing in there for sure.
No, of course not. But yeah, the 300 size is an unfortunate that they're all this design, the stick design. I find most of mine fail because I bash the ends in. So
yes, I can imagine.
The 75mm ones, they just got that little bit more sturdiness, and like I said, it makes more sense to go 75mm, but just it's especially when you're flying indoors and you crash on a hardwood floor, you'll know the difference between a 65mm and a 75mm.
Sure. Okay. So, talking about batteries, so are you one of these pilots that flies your battery right the way down to 3 volts for these small things to get more flight time, or you look after your batteries?
No,
I see a lot of people doing both, so...
Oops.
I used to. When before I switched to BT 2.0, and this is 5 years ago, back when GNB was still the biggest battery maker, those batteries, and especially when you're running PH 2.0 connectors, like pretty much everyone's decided on this, the BT 2.0 connector now for tiny whoops, or the GNB A7 GNB, the GNB copy plug.
Yeah. A30 or something.
A30, that's it. Yeah. So before that, you could fly down to 2.9 volts. And then when you get back to the battery, to the charger, there's still 3.6 volts.
Right.
And then when I went to BT 2.0 for starters, it's like anything below 3.3, it gets pretty damn low even on the charger. Like there's no sag from the plug to the battery. So
right on. Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to fly until the hover is about 3.3, and then take it off.
Sure. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Because there's definitely sort of people that like to really, really push them low to get the maximum flight time.
Yeah. I fly until the thing falls
out
of the sky.
I've seen
mentioning no names here.
Yeah. I'm like, that lipo.
Yeah. I guess though the thing about it is we're kind of looking at them going, it's like for us, it's like £3.
Yeah,
Do you know?
yeah.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And I never nurse any of my batteries. My batteries are all fully charged in the boot of the car. The way I look at it is, I could mother and nurse my batteries, plug it into a quad, wrap the quad around a tree or smash it into a wall, and that battery that I have been nursing is smashed to bits and it's in the bin. Life's too short for that, so I just kind of rag the nuts out of it. And yet, if it's a £30 6S battery, that's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah. But if it's a £3 tiny battery, it's like, you know what, I'm going to rag the nuts out of it, and that's kind of how I look at it. But yeah,
my cost.
I take your advice on board though.
No. So about that, it's like the price of a coffee, right? To get one, and we drink a coffee every day. We don't think about buying that, but we don't consider buying new set of batteries every week. Rather than treating my batteries really badly and then and just saying whatever, it's only £3. I treat it and say I treat them well, and as soon as they stop being, showing me, well, you start flying, and within 30 seconds, you're at 3.7 volts. Mm-hmm. I just throw them out, replace the batteries, go back to brand new batteries, and
wow.
Then you can enjoy being at 4 volts until 1 minute, and then the battery drains from there. So it's not worth flying crappy batteries, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I can see the merits of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, these batteries are pretty easy to come by. I guess it depends as well where you are. If they're hard to come by, then you want to be probably looking after them a bit more,
Pretty much everyone has them on Amazon these days, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. I guess you'd have to be in rural sub-Saharan Africa somewhere or somewhere like that for them to be, everyone's using them in their vapes and stuff like that, aren't they? So,
And on my 75mm whoops, I run 2 batteries in parallel to kind of eke out a little bit more out of them.
Is that because you're flying this little bugger?
Yeah, well, one of those and my kind of DIY Mobula 7 build, but I'm trying to fly it like 1.5 kilometers away, and so I kind of need the battery to not sag at all. But
it's a different use case for you, Tom, really, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is.
So the battery, the quad I just held up that's the new Cadex Whoop that's coming out soon.
Yeah,
it's got some pretty damn spicy motors on there. On a test I was doing with one motor, it draws about 12 amps. So
yes, goodness me.
With all 4 motors, it tops out at around 35 amps. But yeah,
that's crazy for a small Whoop.
For a tiny Whoop, that's just it's the most hungriest motors I've seen. But it's not too bad around the hover point, so you can still get 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. But man, when you start doing power loops, you got to start watching the battery really really closely.
Goodness, yeah. Yeah. What size of motors has it got? Are you allowed to say? I know it's not out.
Are we allowed to say, Tom?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
1102. Which
1102.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, sure.
But it's 75.
Yeah, 75
kind of
mil
Whoop rather than a 65. So
I think that's a similar size to what I've got on the Meteor Pro. The 85 or the 80 mil. I think it's similar size to that.
I think these motors are probably going to be more popular than the Whoop themselves, because anyone who's got a Meteor 75 Pro could put these motors on there. It would be a massive upgrade in power over what they've got. To be honest, it's not my it wouldn't be the Whoop I would design for this purpose. I would prefer, like, it's like big and chunky and beefy and strong and powerful kind of thing. I would have done it lightweight and
so maybe aimed at the beginner more than the sort of seasoned pilot. You say more durable is kind of what I'm getting at.
Durable. Yeah. No, it's durable. No, the beefy part is like, it's like a muscle car kind of thing. It's just got so much power.
Okay. So I see. Yeah.
It's going to be it's good for freestyle, but you just got to watch the battery, because I think one of my first flights, I was power looping my balcony, and it cut out the VTX halfway through the power loop, and and I'm in Tokyo, so that means it landed like 3 houses down on the roof somewhere.
Oh goodness!
Wow.
Because of the power.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation with your neighbour. Can I get onto your roof to get my...
very, very likely I could turtle and it fell down off the roof.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
But that kind of actually leads us into a nice question about digital video and whoops. Obviously, analog has been the mainstay because of weight, because of flying at night and so on and so forth. With these new digital systems that are coming out, do you think that's going to change how we fly whoops in the future, or will analog always be there for them?
Yeah, I'm not sure that analog's going away anytime soon, to be honest. The only thing is I haven't had to buy analog gear for a long time. I've got my goggles. I've had my goggles for ages. I had multiple goggles for ages. I've got maybe 10 cameras in the drawer for spares. I've got FPV monitors for showing to people and stuff. When you look now, everything's so expensive.
Yeah,
The cheapest FPV monitor now is like $80. It used to be able to get like the cheapo ones for like $25 or so.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering maybe if that's going to be the lead to people sort of giving up on analog, especially with Cadix and how they price their Ascent system.
Yeah.
That you can, it's basically cheaper than buying an analog camera and VTX.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The latency is obviously going to be something that people always point to when it comes to whoops. But if you're flying it around your house, you need to be able to be so reactive, and that's where HD0, I guess, when it comes to the digital systems.
I feel it's a little bit overblown. The requirement for latency and that you can make do with it. There are so many people out there that were flying the Baby Rattel camera, and now that Niels Vo guy came out and showed it had like 100 milliseconds of latency on an analog camera. I had a friend who was he's one of my flying buddies here, and at that time I had a Walk Snail Tiny Whoop and a HD0 Tiny Whoop, and I had HD0 goggles, so I let him fly both. And he goes, yeah, that Walk Snail has so much better latency. I was like, he had no idea. I was like,
Yeah, I definitely think it's blown out of proportion. Ever since Niels Vo came out with that video a few months ago, dissing the Sky Zone goggles, that people had been very happy with up until he made that video.
All of a sudden they can't fly.
All I see online is, I'm so disappointed with them. I can't believe I've made the wrong choice. And people weren't talking about it before that. They were just happy flying what they had. I think it's I get where he's coming from, and he's probably right. But goodness, we get used to the kit we've got,
For his type of flying, it's absolutely necessary. Like the Bando flights he does, and the reaction time, the reaction time he has. Yeah, definitely.
It saves him loads of money on crashed quads for sure. I mean, that's the main thing. But yes, I mean, your everyday pilot just doesn't need to worry about that. I mean, you've got the equipment you get used to it. If no one was talking about it, I don't think anyone would be particularly bothered. It's an interesting one. Yeah,
I think it's
interesting
one of
to hear you
those
say
things. If you're constantly chopping and changing between analog and digital, and you have DJI quads, and then you decide to fly analog quads, of course you're gonna feel it. But if you're just flying the same type of quads over and over, or the same system over and over, you just get used to that.
Yeah, you're going to adjust and not even notice it.
It just
there's things I do. Sorry, go on, Dom.
I was going to say there's a pilot I haven't watched for a little while, but Phantom FPV, and he flies a 5-inch as if it's a tiny whoop. Like he'll fly a 5-inch through his car window. Through like the two sides of his open windows. He does
backwards.
These impossible gaps and really technical proxy stuff. And he was flying with DJI 03 as his system. And now, the HD0 guys will tell you that you can't do anything like that with variable latency, like on the O3, which also has like 50 milliseconds of latency, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's quite high, isn't it? Yeah.
And if you watch his stuff, you're just like crazy how close and accurate he flies.
Sure. It's actually what I was going to add. I mean, the one thing that I do notice with these kind of cameras is the field of view. Is the quality of the image.
Yeah.
I mean, that's way more important to me than the few milliseconds of latency for sure.
Yeah. That's where the O4
the aspect ratio.
The O4 was just. I took one flight of that, and I was just like, "This is crap. I can't do this." It's like tunnel vision.
Yes, with its tiny field of view for sure. You definitely noticed that. I remember the first time I flew O4 Lite as well. I was like, "Wait a minute, there's something." I couldn't put my finger on what it was. There's something not quite right here. And that was really noticeable actually, because
more so than
compared to the Pro.
Sure.
Yeah.
So analog quads are never going to go away then. It's always going to be there. It's like FM or AM radio. It'll always be there in the background.
Yeah.
But digital systems are pushing on. Latency is not an issue. Prices are competitive.
Yeah.
So we probably will see a lot more people flying digital whoops.
We're already seeing it. I mean, there's a lot of pilots that are starting with like the Meteor 75 04. Quads as their first quad and their first introduction.
That's what whoops are good for, introducing people to the hobby. It's a cost-effective, safe way of getting people.
And
safe. If you can fly a whoop, you can fly anything.
Yeah. That's true as well. You sometimes see in this IGAR competition, you see some really seasoned 5-inch pilots coming in and just being like, how do you guys do this? You've got no hang times. You've got zero reaction. Like everything happens in a split second. You've got but whoops are safe. They're cheap. They're generally non-obtrusive. I haven't had the inclination to veer anywhere past a 2-inch whoop.
Yeah.
Yes, I can empathise with that. Coming from learning on a 5-inch to flying a tiny whoop, it's really difficult to do. Sort of decent freestyle with a little whoop. It's much respect.
Yeah.
Given the
different skill set.
Given the regulations and stuff that the rest of us are going to have to start dealing with, they could well be the future of the hobby as well.
Yeah, I hope so. I like nothing against all your 5-inch pilots, but. I don't know. It seems really obnoxious and loud and dangerous. I don't see the appeal. I came into this hobby by accident. I had zero interest in drones. I'd flown RC planes when I was a kid. And drones didn't seem to be that to me. It's like it's not meant to be in the air. A plane flies.
Yeah,
it does that, but a drone is just motors like forcing itself to be somewhere in the air. Anyway, I bought a little tiny whoop, E10 Eachine 1.
I remember that.
Not FPV. Just I was like, wow, something this small can fly so stable inside my house. That's crazy. I didn't realize how something so small could fly. And then I broke the frame and I started looking up parts, and next thing you know, I was like, I can put a camera on this? Holy crap. And
yes.
And so to me the size is what makes them appealing. It's so something this small can fly this well. Awesome.
Well, funny you mentioned that quad there, because it was brushed. And brushed seems to be having a comeback.
I actually think that's just newbie drone trying to force that in. I don't think anyone's flying brushed, and I flew brushed for the longest time. I had brushless whoops. I was really into silverware and Quicksilver. Quicksilver is the sort of the after. What do you call it? younger brother, but silverware was my first sort of introduction to this whoop thing. Where I started looking at FPV, I was like, oh, I can buy a cheap flight controller. I can flash silverware to it. I can look at the code and understand the code. The brush is great because it has so little power that the throttle is a lot easier, and you learn timing a lot better. So if you're trying to do a power loop, you need to know when to put the throttle back on. But I just can't go back anymore. It's like once.
But it seems like a couple of Beta FPV and Newbie Drone now have both introduced brushed hardware. So there must be a market for it somewhere. The only thing I could think of was maybe it was STEM projects.
Yeah, I think
getting kids involved, and maybe the cost of a brushed motor is, I don't know, half the price of a brushless or something.
Not even,
and it's just
it used to be. I remember the first ones I built. I was trying to build them under $40 all up. So that's a $5 set of batteries. So $5 set of motors. You can get an FC, a flight controller. It was like $8. It can be flashed with silverware.
Bayang.
Was it Bayang?
Bayang protocol.
Bayang is the radio transmitter frequency or transmitter protocol. Or you could. There was one. I think it was the EO011 was a $15 whoop that you could just chuck a FPV cam on, reflash the flight controller to silverware. You've got an FPV whoop.
Like a little Caddx Beetle, one of those little camera,
those AO cameras. Yeah, those.
Didn't you with the brush ones? Then you have to have two different kinds of motors too, because they're not 3-phase. They're,
Well, they don't have turtle mode, so that was one of the biggest.
That's right.
One of the biggest sort of conveniences that I struggle with is you crash. You got to walk to pick it up, and even when I was flying,
I don't believe in turtle mode though. I'm an advocate for if you crash, go pick it up, and with the idea being that you'll get better to save yourself having to walk.
Okay,
but I still have to do 10,000 steps these days.
That used to be my mentality. But I've crashed in places that you can't get to easily, and turtle mode can definitely.
Yeah, I was going to say top of a roof, something like that.
Yeah,
top of a tree.
No. I never use turtle mode, but most of the places that I'm flying to, there's long grass, and turtle mode's useless in them as well.
Well, that used to be my problem. I never had luck with it. Like I could never get it to flip over right or whatever, and so I never really got into it. But here, more recently, I've definitely used it a whole lot more.
No, I'm sorry, guys. I'm the opposite. If I can turtle mode out of it, I will be. I'm not getting out of my seat. Pure
well, it definitely
laziness, I
didn't
guess.
make me get any better, to be perfectly honest. I just ended up walking further, but I haven't got any better because of it.
Certainly for indoor flying, I get so frustrated because I'm bouncing into everything and stuff like that. I'd be constantly on my feet walking around the house.
You wouldn't sit down. You'd be like...
Yes, pretty much. Following the thing around,
It's the walk of shame.
Yes.
That's how I see it.
I think it's a novelty for me as well, because a lot of the bigger ones that I fly out in the mountains, turtle mode is just out of the question anyway. So it's quite a novelty to me for flying a little whoop around and being able to get myself out of problems, using the remote. I think that's great. Yeah, firm advocate for it.
Yeah. We think then whoops are going to be the future of the hobby. Not even sub 250, probably sub 100.
Yeah,
fairly
sub
soon.
100,
We're all going to have to be dealing with that.
I'm sort of hoping that they're going to realize that there is a category for this, that you can. There is sub 250 and whatnot, but sub 50 of flight weight is so much less dangerous. It's not going to have the same camera capabilities. And this should be a zero restriction on sub 50 or something like that.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, totally agree. I think we're going that direction in the UK slowly but surely. I think it's sub 100 now, isn't it? There's no sub 250 anymore. So we're sort of slowly creeping towards that sort of thing. It's funny in the UK. I'm not sure where the CAA sits with tiny whoops because technically they're a toy. They're under 100 grams, but then they've got a camera on them. Yeah, so it's kind of like a grey area, I guess.
But we all carry cameras in our pockets, and we can stop in a park or in the main street and take our phone out and record, and that's perfectly fine. But God forbid you do it with a 25-gram whoop.
Yeah, it just changes the regulation for it, doesn't it? If it's got a camera on it, it's kind of a grey one. But yes, I'm totally agreeing with that.
Cameras that have like crazy optical zooms, and they're tiny. I mean, you could be very inconspicuous.
Yeah.
They'd be recording someone, 2 blocks away, and they wouldn't have a clue.
So that 10-gram whoop, wherever I put it, I've lost it. That 10-gram whoop with the 5x5 camera. When I ordered that, it was like the description was something like spy camera, hidden camera thing.
Yes.
I was so embarrassed to buy that thing without ordering.
Yes.
All of a sudden, the AliExpress suggested things all started becoming really pervy, and oh man, what have I got myself into?
Oh no. Yeah, amazing. I was going to say, so that tiny little camera. I mean, 5 volts would fry that, right? Does it need a specific voltage?
Yeah, it's 3.3 volts. That one, yeah.
3.3, right? Yeah. Okay. So it's not. You don't have to run a crazy back to get the power to that thing.
No, that would have added weight to make.
Sure.
What's the field of view on that little tiny camera? Like how wide? Like others are really fisheye.
No, it's very much like the 04. It's narrow. I don't like flying that, to be honest. I did it just for the for the gram kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Though. I mean, that's so amazing how light that thing is. It blows my mind a little bit. Yeah.
And whoops are one of these things that we all have in our pockets. It seems like every pilot, whether you're into fixed wing or you're into long range or you're into 5-inch freestyle, we all kind of have these whoops, but most of us probably only take them out in the winter.
It's a shame.
Where we're soon, we're probably all going to be flying them quite regularly.
Well, the more people are in it, the bigger the market is, and the more products and
fair point.
Innovation we're going to see in this thing. It is still a bit of a niche market. I kind of feel like it might be one of the bigger groups of FPV. But that's just because all of the
probably
online communities I'm on are for whoops.
I like. I mean, as you've seen some of my videos, I like pushing them long range.
Yeah.
But the regulations going the way they are, I can't fly a wing 30 kilometers anymore, or or a
I'm
quad.
Surprised you ever could.
Yeah. But
he's got a very good strobe on the back of his of his wing.
I can still see.
I'm not saying me personally.
Yeah.
I mean me generally. But flying a little tiny whoop 1 kilometer, I assume gives the same buzz as flying a fixed wing 30 kilometers.
Probably.
The challenge is exactly the same, or maybe it was just different challenges. And yes, the range might be technically shorter, but there's no difference in the actual adrenaline and the challenge and
long range is surprisingly fun. Like you can't watch a video, somebody's long range video. It's boring as hell. But when you're actually on the sticks.
Oh, the sticks. Oh, jeopardy involved.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a very
just
personal buzz.
One false move and that thing's in a field or in a tree, and it's so small. Yeah. Trying to find it again is going to be very, very difficult. So that added jeopardy just raises the stakes. And so you may not be flying tens of kilometers, but so I wonder whether that's something that people start doing as well as the regulations.
I feel like that's probably already regulated again. Well, most places have the beyond visual line of sight part of it. And, you're not going to see a tiny whoop at 1 kilometer. I don't care if you're an African tribesman or not, but
But I just think there's a lot of potential out there for when the hobby does change with the regulations, that we'll be able to. You can still do the things that you've always done. You just obviously have to
scale down,
to change a little bit. Yeah, scale everything down, exactly.
Sure.
Anybody else? Any questions? Any thoughts on tiny whoops or anything else we want to discuss?
I'm probably the anomaly here. I don't even have one anymore. I used to.
What?
Yeah, I don't have one. Used to. I had the last tiny whoop that I flew was brushed. So it's been quite a while. And it
So
was
what do you fly?
a 3.5 inch. Oh, my video went out.
We lost the video.
We lost you.
What happened?
Yeah, it's Dom in the background now. Get him off. He doesn't have a television.
No, my video went out.
That's all right.
It's super secret. You can't see it.
Yeah. Like, can't let him see me unlock that password. Unlock that.
Well, this I suppose is a perfect opportunity. So, Stacey, you normally kind of fly what 3.5?
Yeah, it's
4 inch.
It's a 3.5 inch
Freestyle?
that I designed. The frame I designed and cut. And
Very cool.
But it's a heavy 3.5 inch. So all up weight on mine is like 420 grams. So it's a fat. It's a fat 3.5 inch. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like the heavier weight. I like how it feels flying it. Like I can't fly the really light ones, but yeah.
In terms of whips or micros, what would is there an equivalence to that kind of when you come to sub 250 or sub 100? Could you build something that would be an equivalent that we could try and...
My recommendation for Stacey would be the S65 Champion Edition.
Okay.
This has a higher power to weight ratio than I've seen on any other 1S whoop that I've tried. It's ridiculous. It has throw in that you can punch out and just cut the throttle and you'll still be climbing. Which you don't see with many tiny whoops, and anything under like 2 inch, I've never seen with this much power. Maybe this curve, the whoop, the Cadex whoop, but again, when you do that, when you punch out, your video drops out. So I mean, like this one, you're not going to cut out your video.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem.
Stacey, do you have analog goggles, or are you all in DJI?
It's all digital now, so that would be another.
All digital.
Yeah, I used to have a set of analog goggles. I gave those to a friend who needed them.
Okay.
Since I was
so if we were trying to convert you, it would need to be an 04, I guess.
Probably, yeah.
04 Lite.
Yeah, I can use that. I got the goggles too, so I think those will work with that for now.
I have one 04 whoop that's pretty cool. It's 21.5 grams, and it's got 28,000 kV Happy Model motors, 21 grams. It's got enough power. It's not going to be anything like this Champion Edition, but for an 04 whoop, it does pretty well. And
21 grams is light for an 04 whoop. That's really light.
Yeah, it's basically just you got to solder everything. But then if you're a 3-inch pilot, you wouldn't want to have motor plugs anyway. So
yeah.
So very good. That's brilliant. I think we'll probably just leave it there. That's been really informative.
Sure.
Lots of stuff there that I thought I knew that I didn't really know, and I'm going to do turtle mode, and I'm going to look after my batteries. Stacey's going to build himself a whoop.
Sure.
Doesn't sound very convincing.
And Tristan's going to go back to that little forest and see if he can find his little.
Yes, my poor 75mm. Goodness, it's still sitting there somewhere.
No, so we'll leave it there then. Thank you very much, Dominic, for joining us this week. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me. It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah, really nice to meet you, Dom.
Yeah. And to everybody else out there, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. All the best.
See you guys.